Welcome to another My Outlander Purgatory recap. This week, we continue our Season 5 coverage with a recap of Episode 503, Free Will. Ready? Then pour yourself a wee dram, settle in, and let's do this. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
I'm Tracey.
I'm Carol.
You sound like you're like, I'm...
I'm
and we are my
Outlander
Purgatory. Carol, how are you this evening?
I am okay. I'm trying to get my fan to stop making a lot of noise.
Yeah. If anybody has any ideas how to keep a Mac from turning on the fan the minute that you and your sister decide you're going to record your episode of My Outlander Purgatory for the week, give us a shout out. Let us know, because I don't know. I just haven't had time to Google that in the million things I need to Google every day to get by in life, and that's just kind of hasn't happened yet. Because I don't really basically don't remember to do it till like Thursday nights at 9:00 when we sit down to do this.
I know.
Like, oh yeah, I should have done that fan stuff.
All right. Well, I just turned off call recorder, so hopefully that'll.
Yeah, so that'll just mean that my fan is going, and it's only half as annoying as it normally is. And I always forget to fix the audio. Like, there's a way to do something, stabilize the audio or whatever on the iMovie, and I just always forget to do it. Whatever.
Oh, Tracey. Stabilize the audio.
I have to tell you, I am going to be so sad. Tuesday night we watched the show, Schitt's Creek, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about. I'm going to be heartbroken when that show goes away.
I stopped weeks ago. You can't tell me, because I can't, like, one episode is not enough for me. I have to binge. I binged the first whole 5 seasons. So I can't watch 1 week and wait an entire week for more. I have to binge.
No, we were watching the whole thing. We're watching it episode by episode. I think there has to be only about, 3 left. And I'm just going to have to go into mourning, because it's so good. And so I'm going to miss that show so much. And it's just gets better and better and better. In case it got cut out, I will miss Schitt's Creek terribly when it leaves in, 3 weeks, whatever. I will mourn it. I'll be so sad. It's a true gift to TV watchers everywhere.
I love them. I love them so much. Is there going to be a movie?
I doubt it. And I kind of don't want there to be. I think it just...
I totally want there to be. I need more.
It's like a little... I never remember the name of this flower that is the first spring flower. Not a Cosmo, but crocus. It's like a little spring crocus that is out for a day and then just is gone. And you just think fondly of it when you remember it, because it reminds you of spring. You think fondly of it when you remember it. Next year, when it comes back, it'll be another show. What are you drinking?
Tracey, it's what I'm always drinking, but I have to tell you that, first of all, please don't bully me, because I was in the liquor store tonight, and I was like, she's going to make fun of me. She's going to make fun of me on screen. If I get Santa Margarita, I can't get Santa Margarita. I got to get something else. So I sat there with my phone for like 10 minutes, Googling wine that won't give me a headache.
And did something come up? Wine that won't give Carol a headache.
Oh, it's the whole organics. And then the one guy was going on 4 different components that are giving you a headache and blah, blah, blah. And so I saw like the pink stuff that isn't like,
Rosé?
Isn't like White Zinfandel. It's
Rosé.
Like rosé and different types of it. And I was like, oh, that looks so refreshing. But I was like, yeah, it's probably going to give me a worse headache. So I always dance with the one who brung me. What?
Nobody told me. Hi, these were on. Now the continuity is all ruined.
Can I tell you something? When you were talking about Schitt's Creek, I was going to interrupt you and say, are you sure you want the glasses? Because your screen reflects. I was about to tell you that your screen reflects in the glasses depending upon where you're headed.
This just does not bode well for this video. I just asked you what you were drinking, because sometimes you drink whiskey. I'm happy that you drink Santa Margarita. I'm happy that you found a wine you like.
Yeah, but usually, you guys, am I wrong? You're usually like, Carol, what do you drink asking? And I go, oh, same thing, always Santa Margarita. And you're like, I may have to stop this video. Well, we'll just keep going, but I may have to open the new bottle because there was only this much. So you guys,
go for it.
I just want you to know I did that for you. I went out and bought more wine for you guys.
I'm drinking this white wine blend, but that has these cute koalas on them.
Oh my God, Ian would think that was so cute. Look at the little bears.
I know. They're holding hands like brother and sister who are not old enough to drink wine, but like when their parents do, because they can, cajole them to do, give them money or get permission to do stuff.
That sounds like my kid. She just picked him up at school, and I was making the video, so I couldn't. So I was like, here, do you want Dairy Queen? Here's $20.
Alrighty. So I guess we should get into it. Episode 503 of Outlander. It is called Free Will. Not Free Willy, which I keep thinking that it is, which makes me think like, wait, is this episode about Willie? Is Willie in this episode? I thought he was in England, as per Lord John.
Ooh, hot Willie.
No, it's free will, but it's also not free will as in like release will. It is free will as in a choice. Everyone has a choice.
You guys, okay, we had crazy storms last night. Like, we've had really weird weather in New Jersey today, so I bet you that has something to do with why we keep freezing. Like, it's just whenever the weather is really crazy.
That or the fact that Verizon blows. One of the two. We have the free will to choose which one we think it is.
Oh my gosh. Am I the only one who's having ridiculous winter allergies?
You're
it's
wiping
awful.
your eyes. I have to tell you that, and it's probably because I've been looking at the computer like for 15 hours a day.
I think that's part of my problem.
So I took my contacts out, I don't know, 10 o'clock last night, put them in the solution like I always do. Went to put them in at 6:15 this morning. They're like crinkled up in the solution. Like they hadn't even had time to rehydrate because they were so dried out. It was gross. It was gross.
That's like my skin and my allergies have been horrible. My eyes have been like blown up. I swear to God, it's not even from crying. Although maybe I feel like that started me on this awful path. And now my eyes, I'm always like having to do this. And I think it is partly from looking at screens too much too.
Yes, it's definitely that for me.
But, oh my God.
So anyway,
all right.
So what are your initial thoughts of this episode, Carol?
I loved it. I loved it even more than last week. And I was like, wow, we're on a roll. Because last week I loved, but this week was so, so good. And I swore to myself I wouldn't take notes. And yet here they are.
And you only watched it once. I did my normal watch it once clean, watch it again, take notes.
You know what? I was going to, because I had time tonight to like, while I was waiting, I was like, you know what? I might as well just watch it again. And then I was like, I can't. That really affected me. I'm sorry. I'm trying to play it, and for whatever reason, it's not playing.
What,
except now. Yeah, because see, you watch again, whereas I like to play it on my iPad while we're talking, and then I stick with the right scenes. Because when I'm taking notes, I don't always take notes of every scene. Some scenes, it's like, yeah. So you talk about a scene, I didn't write a note, and then next thing you know, I'm 3 notes down, and I'm telling you have to stop and go back and. So this way, it's easier for me. I'm just watching it. I'm following.
I liked this episode a lot. My initial reaction to this episode is that book readers. You want to talk apoplexies? Book readers across the world are going to be having apoplexies over this episode because it was straight out of the book. It was like basically they handed the actors the book. They're like, turn to page 524. Or whatever, and just start reading. It was, I went back and read some parts. The entire the very last scene, straight out of the book. The whole Jamie kills him, straight out of the book. 100%. So, a lot of times on Sundays.
Wasn't there a really awesome conversation in that scene, though, like about his dad? Like,
yes, that's all from the book. All of it. All of it.
I don't know. I remember it being like, I found it, like, I thought it was sad when I was reading the book. I'll tell you what, I found this to be, like, different. Like, I don't remember. He was like a horror movie. It was so
Well,
cool.
it was. I mean, that part was really good. I was surprised that they that they showed as much of this. I mean, this was easily more than half the episode, the Beardsley stuff. And I remember thinking to myself, like, when I'm thinking about stuff that happens in season 5, oh, they're never going to do that. I mean, like, they're never going to, like, or maybe they'll just touch on it, I guess. You know, I didn't even remember that the Beardsley house was, like, that important to go to do or to show. But I never would have thought. And again, particularly when you only have 12 episodes to work with and you have that, you know, behemoth to get through.
Right.
I just spend 35 minutes or 40 minutes at the Beardsley house. You know, between that and the wedding, you're a 12th of the way through the show. And I'm not saying I didn't like it because I did. I think you liked it better than I did. And again, I don't want it to sound like I didn't like it. I probably liked last week better because there was just more, like, it held my interest more. This was a little more of a bit of a play. And everybody was great, but it didn't capture my interest as much as last week did. Or if you're looking at episodes that are like plays, you know, it's still no Garrison Commander. That to me is the shining standard of an episode where that all happens in one room, or a lot of it happens in one room, just two people talking. And another one is the Claire takes care of Lord John when he has the measles. Or the chickenpox, or whatever the hell he has. That to me was a stellar moment. This was very
Perhaps
good.
he has coronavirus.
What, Lord John has coronavirus? Or he did?
You're like the measles or the chickenpox or whatever. And I'm like, or the coronavirus.
I think he had the measles. Because, yeah, I think he had the measles. I don't remember. So I did. I really did like this. But yeah, my prevailing thought was on Sunday mornings, one of the first things I do is go online because everybody's watched it at midnight when you can get it on the app. So there's already a ton of commentary. Last week, I opened up my iPad and start reading, and I was shocked that people were like, I didn't like this episode. I didn't like it. I was like, really? Because we loved it. This week, everybody is going to be loving it. That is my prediction.
I was. Oh, my goodness. And my memory is shot. I don't remember the book. I remember the house. I remember the creep fest. I remember him being so disgusting, creepy.
Right.
I remember that she, you know, I remember, but I don't remember the details of this stuff. So it's fantastic because it's like learning about it all over again.
I didn't remember the baby. I didn't remember that at all. You know, that water broke and I was like, oh, yeah.
Did that happen? Because
yes,
was one
it
did. I was in there going, did this happen?
Yes. The only difference between that I can see from the book is that in the book, she doesn't leave them when they're in the house. She leaves, like, she starts to go with them back to Brownsville or whatever, and she leaves them, you know, the first night. She leaves them on the trail. She escapes there. But she leaves baby, you know. I think she might steal one of the horses, I forget, but yeah, that's the only difference I could see. But let's jump into this, because I did take notes, so just stop me when you think of something that you want to tell me or say.
Oh, thanks. Can I?
Yeah, you can. I give you permission. Because, Carol, you have free will. You have free will.
I have something to say, like, right off the bat.
So, all right, I'm thinking that the cold open is a thing in season 5. Because we've had 3 episodes and we've had 3 cold opens.
Oh my God, I love the wide shot.
What?
The wide shot.
Oh. Did they have that right from the beginning?
House.
I don't really remember.
Oh my God, the first thing they go from the wide shot to her opening the glass over the penicillin experiment, and I'm like, I'm sorry, did you, like, I know it was like, it was sort of inferred last week, but, like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, Mrs. Bug, like,
which must be horrified.
Crazy. Like, not only think you're crazy, but, like, be mad that you're wasting all of this bread.
Well, for
in this day and age.
Moved on. Oh, they've moved on. There's, like, I mean, at least it's trash. it doesn't look like they're taking real food that no one's eaten. It's like apple cores or, I don't know, whatever. But she's starting to look like, Russell Crowe in that Math movie where he's like putting shit all over the wall. Oh my God. Or like Carrie Hathaway when she goes crazy on Homeland and starts like making things on the wall. That's when people are going crazy, when they have shit all over the place. She's a hoarder.
Or Leonardo DiCaprio and pee in jars.
Yes. Oh, we call that movie The Aviationist.
What was his name? Howard Hughes?
Howard Hughes, yes. Catherine Hepburn has to come, and I can't do her name.
Look, no, and the
Oh, Howard. You'll have to come. You'll have to stop peeing in the jars, Howard.
If you don't stop peeing in the jars, I'm going to stop wearing my pants. I love her. I'm not making fun. If anybody thinks I'm making fun, you're wrong.
Oh my God, are you kidding? We love her. Okay, right. But Claire is just like, first, and a lot of people last week, because I don't know how many of the comments you followed, but a lot of people were like, where is she getting all this glass? Like, first of all, to get something moldy.
The same thing. The lid. Put it this way. Here we go. I'm going to mention my friend Beatrice again, who is in the know. Okay, lives south of here and is in the know. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to out you, Beatrice. I'm not going to out you. I'm going to call you B, though. But
I'm going to call you by a pseudonym, B, just so nobody will guess who you are, Beatrice from the South.
She is loving she's loving the costumes this season. She's like, oh my God, they're so perfect, authentic. But I have to ask her about these glass jars because I took one look at them and I'm like, that looks like it came from Pottery Barn. And I'm like, I'm assuming they're completely authentic. If you know what I mean, they're not going to go that far out. But I really was like, oh my God, Claire, I love your little dish garden.
I know. We went to the
Corning succulent.
We went to the Corning Museum a couple of years ago, which is like the big glass museum, and like, yeah, it looked like I didn't see those, glass, cake toppers in the museum at the Corning Museum. No, did not see them. But also the big thing is like stuff doesn't get moldy under glass, does it?
Yeah, because it's humid.
You need to have air to make it moldy, I thought.
The humidity.
I don't know.
Just go in my old shower.
Now I want to do something where I have an experiment where I leave a piece of bread here and then I put a piece of bread under glass and we see, maybe I should have it right in this office and we can check up on it from week to week. Wouldn't that be fun?
That's a great idea. I'm going to do that too.
Incorporate science and Outlander.
So I'm a rooter. I'm like a compulsive, rooter. So I don't even know why.
I'm compulsive not knowing what that is.
Anytime I have a piece of a plant that looks weird or whatever, I'll cut it off and I keep little wine bottles or little, it's another neat one for one root is hot sauce, little hot sauce spot, special little hot sauces. Keep the bottles. And then you put your little tiny, and it roots. And I don't know. I think I like watching the roots because half the time I don't even plant them. I'm looking at them right now. But what?
You don't plant them. You just give them to me, and
I root them and I give them to Tracey. But if anybody wants any, I have some plants. So I totally want to do that. I totally want to do it. But I'm telling you right now, that was the biggest issue with our old shower. You guys, I had a renovation done and I did a bathroom that we started a couple of years ago and I had to do it. I don't even know if I got into this and I won't get into it now, but the whole problem was I was constantly battling the mildew because we had no ventilation, no airflow, and it was always
mildew though. And mold is different. Mold that makes penicillin, I think is different. I don't know. I like this idea of an experiment. Will it stink though? That's my only problem. Because I live in this room. Not if
you have it under glass.
Well, no, that's the experiment is you have to have one. Well, I suppose we could just do the one under glass. All right, we'll figure it out. But that would be fun. That's a fun experiment. Let's do that.
Or we could just have some bread for too long. I may have just thrown some out. We don't make enough sandwiches in this house.
Okay. Anyway, Claire is certifiable with all this bread and food and stuff. And they're all under glass. And you can tell that she's testing them in all different conditions. And Marsley is her trusty assistant now. And Marsley's like, so Claire, so how do you know what to look for here? And Claire's like,
did you see her expression? Because I hadn't really grasped what Marsley said. And Claire goes like, and I was like, whoa, that was weird. Like, why would she make that? And then it hit me. Oh, yeah.
Busted. And Claire's, but that was kind of brilliant. Like, well, what kind of a teacher would I be if I gave all the answers? What do you think, Marsley? It was a very psychological psychiatrist question.
I know. Poor Marsley. It's like she's in school.
But then she answered very well. She got an A+ on that test.
Okay. All right. Sorry. That's where my question is.
Go ahead. What was your question?
No, it's not really a question as much as it's a comment about this. And I don't want to cut you off, but before we get off the Marsley conversation, I want to say something.
What?
No, go ahead.
Finish. Oh, no, I just had a question of how does Claire know what penicillin looks like under a microscope? Like, would she have learned that in medical school?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I mean, to me, it was a little far-fetched when I was reading it, but it was the same thing when we were reading it. I just was talking about Tom. Like, he never got past, he was in drums.
Right.
But I'm sure of it. I'm sure he was like saying something about Claire and, oh yeah, Claire's going to try and make penicillin, like, but here's my question. No, it's not a question. It's a random crazy thought that I have while I'm watching the show. I'm watching Marsley and she said something to Claire like, oh, did you learn this in Boston or something?
Right.
And all I could think of was, I started, do you ever wonder about Diana Gabaldon and like, why she goes the route she does and why she doesn't go a different route? Or like, I just started thinking, wouldn't it be cool if somehow you ended up like having Marsley and Fergus in Boston, like asking around and being like, it's so weird. It's like, nobody knows Claire. She said she lives right here. Like, I don't know. I know that's like a random thought in my head, but that's the kind of thing that I think about. Like, I wonder why, I wonder if Diana Gabaldon ever thought to do something like that.
I don't know, like, why it would happen in the story.
Well, she never got, that's the thing, is that it was an offshoot and she never bothered with any kind of off. It's not worth it to bother with the offshoot stuff.
Right.
It's like when she was Beecham and, you know, as far as they went with that was Blackjack being like, well, my people never heard of you or, you know, whatever.
Right. All right. So yeah, so that was a cute little scene. Any scene with Marsley is a good scene for me. I'm all good with it. Once again, Laura and Lyle, we love you. We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
She never does wrong.
I know.
Never.
I know. She's so great. So we get through the starting. And the one thing I'll say with the starting is I read somewhere, somebody said something that they read that the starting music is supposed to be, I mean, I don't know if it's an actual army choir band, but it's supposed to sound like an army choir. Okay. So, all right, that makes more sense. I still don't love it. Sorry. I mean, I would want more like, yeah, not like, church choir. It's too church orchestrally choiry for me.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Okay. So our writer for this episode is Luke Shellhouse, who wrote half of last week, and the director is Jamie Payne, who I've never heard of before, so this must be a new director. And our Easter egg is, it's almost as though they shot it with the blur the background function on Skype.
Totally weird.
But it makes more sense later on. You sort of figure out what's going on, but it's clearly Marsley. She's clearly doing something with like a chicken or a ham hock.
I took it as like the goose is cooked.
Well, we'll get to it. But you're just like, okay, I don't know what she's doing. Like she's butchering something else, whatever. Okay, great. So we see Jamie ride up. He's home. We see another gorgeous shot of the big house. That is a big ass house. They should just stop calling it the big ass house instead of the big house, because it is a big ass house.
It is a big ass house.
So Jamie walks in and goes to Claire to the bedside, and he crosses himself, and he says some stuff in Gaelic. And she wakes up, and she's like, "Oh, Jamie, you're home." And they have like about a 30-second moment. Like the whole thing start to finish is 30 seconds. I have a hot take, Carol. Are you ready for what it is?
Yeah.
Those 30 seconds were a better reunion than the season 3 reunion. Discuss.
I have, first of all, I had it written down. What are you for the sight of you, Sassenach? And then I have 2 hearts. One is broken and one is a regular heart. And I have, oh boy, do I understand that. I literally feel Tom. I try to take notes while I'm watching so they don't come out right. But I said, I literally feel Tom watching that exchange. You know what I mean? Like that reminded me of like, you know, one of my dreams.
Right.
That I've had. So
right.
I have, that is the best thing I've seen on Outlander, and I don't even remember how long.
Yeah.
That, I have just that 10 to 20 seconds. That brought more to me as far as the relationship between, and all I could think of was, I don't need the
bomb chicka bomb bomb.
Naked. Yeah, don't need it. Don't need it. This is, give me this 20 frickin' 4/7. That, just that scene was my entire season.
I 100% agree with you. And I think it's funny how you and I sort of wrote the same thing. I wrote, and I quote, 30-second reunion better than half hour of season 3 reunion.
It brought back like season 1. It brought back book 1. Like it brought back, and like you said, the reunion. It brought back Jamie and Claire.
Yes.
And it's unfortunate because when you're reading the books, it's the same way. It can't stay. It has to evolve, and it has to be about other characters. And let's be honest, it's like in real life. You know, after you've been married for how many years, right. It's not like it was when you were dating. But for that 10 to 20 seconds in that episode, it was.
And think about the rest of the episode. I mean, they're together a lot of it, but, you know, they're together in that they're, I don't know, discussing important matters, or they're not together. You know, she's tending to the guy's wounds, and he's running after the goats, or this or that, or whatever. You know, but for this one little moment in time, it was wonderful. It was Jamie and Claire. It was everything that Jamie and Claire are about, right there.
Right. It was like it was like bringing back like and we'll touch up for a little. Yeah. Remember, like the very beginning. It just so good. Yeah. So that's so funny because I have that written down. I was going to say the exact same thing.
I was like, that's my hot take of the night. It's just, I mean, and it was 20 seconds long, maybe. Yeah. Just, and everything, the crossing himself, and the Gaelic, and the, you know, whatever. It was great. It was really great. All right, so he recaps the trip, blah, 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 blah. He has to get reinforcements and go back. And of course, Claire is like, what, you're going to war? Well, hell, you're not doing it without me. I'm coming along.
And he was like, he was going to try and argue for like a split time.
Really?
And, yeah.
Like, I'm a surgeon, Jamie. If you're born, you're going to need a surgeon. So he's just like, yeah.
I'm just going to leave Bree again, because that's what I do. I leave Bree.
And he's like, yeah, good thing we had that moment earlier, because it's not happening again for the rest of this episode. I wrote down,
possibly the season.
Claire, I'm coming with you, because duh. So, okay, the next day arrives, and up rides Fergus with Jermaine. I like Jermaine.
Oh my God, so cute.
The kid is cute. I always in the books call it Grand Pierre, and clearly that's not how you pronounce it. I don't remember what he said. But he's adorable, and he runs in the house, whatever. So, Jamie wants Fergus to deliver, like, have a broadsheet printed up and posted on 12 different places or whatever. So here's a question I have. So first of all, Fergus is like, all right, I'll go get a pen and paper. Did they call it pens back then? Or
A quill.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe
Tracey,
they did call it a pen.
They could fool me so bad because I just assume on this show everything is as authentic as it's gonna get.
I guess.
I really do.
I guess they called it a pen. I don't.
And
I
I
really
could
don't
be
know.
totally wrong.
If anybody knows, maybe your friend Beatrice does.
She totally does. I know it.
I would be curious. But then, so he runs in the house. I don't see him get a pen, but I do see him, like, shuffle through some papers, like, and pull one out. And they keep the shot on the papers for a long time. So,
and I'm like, was that her penicillin papers?
I think maybe it was her penicillin papers. So I don't know what that means.
Go there again.
And let's put it this way: they were including some really long, languid shots in this episode. But I think that one was purposeful. I don't think they were just like, oh, let's spend 5 seconds looking at, like, whatever these papers are.
Yeah, but okay, they didn't go back to that. Am I correct?
I know, but, like, there has to be a reason why.
It's coming back. There was way too much him and the.
Should I take this one, or should I take this one, or should I take this one? Like,
and I understand that. Like, I know in that time frame, I know in that like paper wasn't plentiful. I know it wasn't like, oh, just get it from the Staples pack of 400 pieces of paper over here that I have. It was like, you had to use paper that somebody was writing on or whatever. And,
right.
And he figured it doesn't matter what this is. Jamie told me to get paper for, like, possible war. I got it. It doesn't matter. But that is going to come back and bite someone, aka Claire.
It has to. There has to be a reason for that. There has to be a reason.
No way. That's not. It's coming back big time.
And I don't remember that in the book at all. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Tell us what you guys think. But it was odd enough that I'm wondering what's going to happen.
Right.
Okay. So yeah. So I said before, like, this like this whole first part of this episode was just so, like, languid and just kind of, like, just moved, like, very, like, smoothly and slowly, and not slowly in a bad way.
It was like butter.
It was like butter. It was like butter melting, They show the shot, Fergus, like, rides off, and then they cut to all of the workers on the ridge going through their day-to-day lives, and they're building the big house, putting the roof on. There's Marsley over there butchering a pig, and, this person over there doing this.
Marsley does this season is butchering.
I know, right? And then here comes Fergus, and we see him ride. Then we see the horse's hooves. Ride. They go this way and that way, and this way and that way. I miss Poldark.
I miss Poldark.
Poldark.
I feel like this. I guess it's just because I can hear it in these things, but I'm like, maybe these things have something to do with why we're coming and going.
I doubt it. I think it's our sucky internet that has that.
I need a haircut. I'm sorry, you guys. I keep doing this to get this hair out of my face.
That's why I don't look at myself when we do these videos, because otherwise I would be.
No,
like
it's not looking. It's this. I can feel it. Hi, you guys. Need a haircut.
So okay. Then the next scene, it's time to leave for Hillsborough, and we see the bugs together. Really, kind of for the first time, like, both of them, like, bye himself or whatever they call Jamie. Have a nice time. And then Claire tells Marsley to keep practicing, and this explains the Easter egg, because Claire told her that the best thing to practice on
was flesh.
Was
pig's flesh or chicken flesh or pig flesh.
Pig flesh, and she should practice, sewing and cutting or doing whatever. And so then you're like, oh, I got that Easter egg now. So then Bree and Roger say goodbye, and I have to say
Yeah, but it was like a goose. It wasn't a pig.
No, it was a pig. It was a hawk of the pig. Like a ham hawk.
In the beginning?
Yes.
I felt like it was like a goose.
No,
because I literally wrote down someone's goose is cooked.
You know, she split it in half when she was cutting it up, right? And there's like the hip part, the hawk.
You're talking about when they showed her outside.
Right, but I'm saying that what she was doing in the Easter egg was on that part of the pig. It was on like, I don't know if you can see this, but like on this part, right there. That's what I think it was. I don't think it was a chicken or anything. I think it was a pig because Claire wouldn't have said, like, practice on a pig.
Right?
Practice on a pig.
Oh my God. And Fergus with his buttons all the way up his boot.
Oh my God, I noticed those boots too, and I love them. They look so good.
Baby, girl. I want them.
Fergus. I heard that, I'm not going to put a spoiler on or anything, because I'm not going to really say, but I heard we're not getting something that you are, well, sort of famous for coining a phrase about. When we get there, we'll get there eventually.
What about it? What'd you hear?
I just heard it. That's, but rumor has it.
From whom?
I don't know. The dark web.
Dear God, I've got a T-shirt, man. Oh my God. We'll see
how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
From the dark Outlander web.
All right.
And the books.
So Bree and Roger say goodbye. I have to say that they're starting to have some real chemistry.
Starting. I think
Brianna is at her best when she is with Roger.
I agree, but I literally wrote down why are they making Roger have Andy Rooney eyebrows? I don't understand it. I don't understand. They show Roger and the eyebrows are like out here. And I'm like, that's when I am like in good light. And I'm like, dear God, why did no one tell me that like my eyebrows are sticking straight out?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I know.
Why?
I know.
What is that all about?
I
think he's going to start walking around with like an
I don't know. But I really do. I really think that, I'm noticing myself more here. I really think that she's at her best with him. She really is. You know, I've said it before. I think Brianna is the hardest role in the show because she has to be very different from everyone else. She's not the most likable character. And I think that sometimes that comes off very stilted. You know? Or she doesn't get the chance to be. I mean, I just don't think Brianna is as emotional a character as the other ones. But I think that she gets to be a little more relaxed and looser with Roger, and it's a nice combination to see, and I really like that scene with them.
Well, she's comfortable and at ease with Roger.
Yes, agreed.
Because Roger is from her own time, and you know, and I mean, as is her mother, but she and Roger are in this together. Right. She and Roger are in the exact same position.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I get that. And he's her husband and she loves him. But I don't know. I feel like this Bree isn't. I felt like book Bree was much more confident than this Bree. Almost egotistical.
Yes. I would agree with that.
I don't get ego from this Bree.
Right.
Which is a good thing. I mean, you know, that was what bothered me about book Bree. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, book Bree is like, you know, she can do anything. You know, book Bree is like, you know, need that bridge built? Bree's on it.
Let me go. Yeah. This Bree is much more vulnerable and relatable, I guess.
Yeah.
Than book Bree was a little bit too dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yes. Bree's come to make more glass, to blow more glass for Claire and her mold experiments. So they're off. I want to do a countdown of like the number of times per episode that Roger must be shitting his pants because like Roger's just like oh my God, I'm going off to war.
Oh my God.
He must be just peeing himself.
He's shitting his pants.
So there's, again, it's like what I was saying before with this episode being just so languid. Like, lots of shots of them going this way through the wilderness and that way through the wilderness and this
Yes,
way.
through the wilderness and pushing the carriage in through the mud.
Yep. So they finally, get their campsite. And Jamie's like, Claire, I have to talk to you. Come here, because don't forget, Fergus handed him a letter, and he's like, oh yeah, I know who this is from. And we were like, oh yeah, so do we. So yes, he's heard from Lord John, and he can confirm, breaking news, Stephen Bonnet is alive. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun.
And Katrina was so good. Oh my God, she's so good in this moment. I can't even stand it, how good she is. Her face changes, and you see, like, this all, like swallowing and moving around and happening here with her. She's like, does Bree know? And Jamie doesn't know that. Jamie doesn't know that Bree knows that she knows. And Jamie's like, no, she doesn't know. And Bree's like, well, that's a blessing anyway.
I know, it's so creepy that no one knows she knows.
I know. Well, Roger's maybe suspects a little.
I know. No one. He knows that she knows that he knows that he knows, but no one knows she knows.
You don't know that we know they know we know.
I know.
So yeah, her reaction is just great. I mean, her face just goes from, like, levels of concern to anger to rage, and they're talking about when, Jamie says when Blackjack was killed, it helped him a little bit. Like, just knowing that Blackjack was dead helped him a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then Jamie says, part of me hopes that half of me hopes never to see that bastard Bonnet again. And the unspoken statement is, what does the other half hope? The other half hopes, like, hell yeah, I would like to see him immediately so that I can, basically treat him like Mr. Beardsley.
Last week.
Go all Beardsley on him.
Yeah. That's a new one. I like that. Beardsley is a verb. Last week freaked me out really, really, really bad with Bonnet. Like, obviously everybody hates Bonnet. Excuse me, keep talking. Everybody hates Bonnet, but was that from the book last week with him?
I think yes. Yes, I don't think it was like hoary women fighting, but otherwise, yes, because I read that part after we.
Because I mean, it's Bonnet. Can you get me a cup, please? It's Bonnet, but my God, that was so bad last week. It was so. Thank you. That was so awful.
I know
that, like, it just. They start off the season with, and don't forget, Bonnet's really awful.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, it just makes you just hate him. And you guys, I'm sick. I'm just sick. I just need them to find him.
I know, but the most I'm sick about is that he's going to show up at some point and he's going to be really hot, and I'm going to forget all about that.
I don't. You would think I would too, but I don't.
No.
I just am so grossed out by him.
He didn't look quite as good last week. Maybe that's, what I'm telling myself, but.
Which one was he? Was he the one from Downton or the one from Poldark?
Downton. He was Jimmy. He was Jimmy, the hot.
But he wasn't
butler.
The guy in Poldark. The guy in Poldark.
No, you thought he was the guy in Poldark, and you insisted he was the guy in Poldark, and I was like, he's not the guy in Poldark.
Because Tracey's always right. She knows better, you guys, at all times.
When are people going to start listening to that? Or believing it? I don't know. Sooner the better.
All right. So anyway.
Okay.
All right.
So we're around the campfire, and let me just say, a couple thoughts on that. So John Quincy Myers is there. I'm sure this is in the book, you guys. So don't come at me, bro. But John Quincy Myers strikes me as the regulator type. Am I right or am I wrong about that?
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. I was just kind of surprised to see him there because I kind of thought he's more like, like the man, and I don't want to pay taxes. I'd live off the land. Da 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 da.
I was just way too into these Beardsley kids.
Well, let me just say before that, when they're all around the campfire, I kind of loved it because it was really harking back to the days of the clan, on the road, getting the laird's taxes.
Yes, I thought so too. I love when they're Tracey
Angus and Rupert and all our buds, like just hanging out, and Claire, being all duty with them, and I just loved it. I just loved it. It was really great. It was really great. So then the next day comes, and there's clearly somebody's running after somebody, and it's I forget the guy's name. Isaiah Morton catches.
I'm sorry. I'm going to apologize right now because I am so completely parenting during this video, and it's pissing me off.
What are you doing? Why do you have to yell at someone? Can we watch?
No, I'm texting left and right when I'm supposed to be paying attention
to your children.
I'm like, get in the shower, and you're in the shower. What?
She's texting.
This is my work.
She's texting.
You know what I'm saying?
House.
Like, if we tried to make a video at noon and you'd be like, I'm working, I can't. This is my work. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's really, really hard, you guys. I'm sorry. This is the best I can do.
I just think it's funny, but the texting's coming from the house.
Could be anywhere. Yeah, I got one who didn't get in the shower fast enough, and the other one's got to get in, and we have this new thing where we're trying to go to bed by 10 p.m., and it's 7 minutes of.
FYI, that's not happening.
And he takes the longest showers in creation, and they get up too early, and then there's issues, and...
All right, we have to speed this along because it's already almost 10 o'clock, and we are not even at the Beardsley house yet.
Good. We're not talking Beardsleys.
Okay. So Isaiah Morton comes back with JAMMF Beardsley, except it's not JAMMF, and he doesn't have any pants.
Was that their names?
His name, it's Beardsley is their last name. So we think it's JAMMF, but then all of a sudden we hear some rustling, and who else is here? Why, it's Jamie with JAMMF. And the one Isaiah Morton found is not JAMMF, it's keh-ZYE-ah. And confession time, in the books, I read it as keh-ZYE-ah. The whole time.
Me too,
The whole time I've been saying JAMMF and keh-ZYE-ah. And he's like, keh-ZYE-ah. And I was like, I was that emoji.
I just
don't
even
makes sense
remember that
they would
being
rhyme
their
because they're
names.
twins.
I did not remember that being their names.
I remember JAMMF and keh-ZYE-ah, not JAMMF and keh-ZYE-ah, which it like makes total sense. So we hear their sad story
about their indentured names or their real names, or
I think it's their indentured names. We don't really know their real names. I don't know. They're indentured servants. Their whole family died on the ship that brought them to America. They got bought or indentured by the Beardsley guy. He's a real douche. He beat them up.
Wasn't he totally like the douche on Game of Thrones with all the
the red wedding guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
totally
Walter Care, I don't know. I forget his last name. I don't remember it. So JAMMF escaped a year ago. He came back from keh-ZYE-ah. I'm going to call him keh-ZYE-ah.
That's
trouble.
Okay, Tracey. No one will mind.
Nobody ever minds when I mispronounce when we say Fraser. I haven't done that in a long time though. So keh-ZYE-ah was starving, whatever, got him freed, like, okay, fine. Jamie takes pity on them. We're not sending you back. We'll go check it out. I will buy your indenture back. We'll go see what's up.
I loved that. He was very quick to be like offering up the cashola.
I know. What the hell is Jamie? Let's talk about this for a minute. Where the hell are they getting all this money? I mean, that big house. And again, we should just start calling it the big ass house. Like, that's a lot of money. In the books, Jamie gets glass for the windows. And he talks about how that's like a super duper extravagant purchase to get glass. That's a big, big treat. And here, they have like half the ridge is building their house in the backyard. And they're like, making bricks from scratch. And they're framing out this house. And they're like, there's all sorts of like, cabinets and woodwork and crap in the house. And like, where are they? And now Jamie's like, well, I'll just buy off their indenturedness. Like, is that a lot of money? Like,
I don't know how much money it is, but I mean, that's the way it is. Everybody, it's just like being a laird. Like, he builds all these little cottages for everybody, and then everybody lives in them, and then they do all the work, and then they sell stuff and make a lot of money, and it goes back to them in some ways, and in some ways it goes into the big ass house. I guess buying indentured servants.
Like, does it work like it did with the clans, where like they're tenants and they're renting the land from Jamie, or do they actually get their own land? Maybe they're renting the land, and that's where Jamie's getting all this money
No,
from.
they rent the land. He owns all of it.
Okay.
He owns all the land.
All right.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think they all sort of pitch in and build the houses so they have somewhere to live. So he's like, come live with us. We got, you can have a house, you can have this. And they have to do the work, and they have to pay for the land.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
All right, that makes sense. He just has a lot of money. He's like, can make a lot of these like extravagant purchases that.
And they appreciate him because he keeps them working. He gives them a job. He gives them a roof over their head.
He lets them come to war with him.
And he lets them go to war with him and worship him in his kilt. And, oh my God, I found something. Shoot, I don't know where it is. I found something. I was cleaning out the basement, a picture of an old Highlander in full regalia in black and white picture from God knows when, you guys.
Was it a sight to behold?
This was probably like, I don't even know if it was the 1900s. It was wild. And I said, oh my God, I got to show this to everyone. And of course, could I find it? No, but I'll give it to you and you can splice it in.
Okay. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, so I think it's a cool system. And then he has like the big Christmas party, and if they have a baby, he gives them extra like fruit.
All right.
And Claire heals everyone.
Claire heals
free
everyone.
health care.
And all they have to do is give her like an apple or
It's Mediclaire for all.
Hashtag Mediclaire. Oh my God.
Mediclaire for all.
Write that shit down. That will be, if you guys have live tweeted with us and then now you're watching the video, well, first of all, you already know that's where we get the bulk of the jokes when we live tweet, but there you go. Mediclaire for all.
Free education.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's move on.
I love
it. Let's move on. Okay. So Claire and Jamie are going to go to the Beardsleys. They're going to take a little detour. Roger is going to lead the rest of the guys to Hillsborough, and this is where I'm sure pants shitting number 2 happens for Roger. Because Roger's like, I won't let you down, except I totally will.
Oh my God, Roger needs some total A&D because my man shits his pants down.
All right.
Got Andy Rooney eyebrows. And he's still gorgeous.
Oh, poor Roger. Poor Roger. We love you, Roger. We keep because we love. Okay. I don't like these earbuds. I have to use my other ones next time. Okay.
Why?
Because they don't fit in right.
Oh, I thought they were these.
No, I can get those.
You guys, I feel so cool. I got the old ones because I don't need the new, expensive, newfangled ones.
Yeah,
I don't even know what the hell
I
they
got
do.
the faux apple ones, and they're not very good. So whatever. Okay.
Oh, the faux apple ones suck. I tried them.
I know. Okay. So Claire and Claire said, or Jamie asked Claire if she can cut off that brand that he has because he doesn't really need to be branded as a thief at this point. Like it's probably not a good thing.
Right.
So they arrive. I love that Jamie says something along the lines of "Ho, the house" when he comes in. Did you hear that? How you can take notes on that phone is beyond me, but whatever.
I do everything. This is my lifeline. Every single thing, whether it's a doctor's office, whether it's the kids, whether it's school, whether it all goes here, and I never lose it.
Oh, but you talk the notes. You don't write them down.
Jamie and Claire arriving at Beardsleys, and Jamie yelling, "Hello, the house!"
I know.
One of Tom's favorites. He said it whenever we got to someone's house, especially friends and family of Celtic heritage. If he were here, I know he would have yelled, "Hello, the house!" As soon as he would have loved seeing Jamie Fraser yell.
I don't think he ever has before.
He would totally walk in and say, "Hello, the house."
Yeah, I love that. Okay.
Loved it.
So Claire's like, I'll go check the barn. Now let me ask you this. Would Jamie have let her go in and check the barn by herself?
I didn't think so. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I'm sorry. You don't know what you're approaching, and this place looks like this. Like, what? You're going to let Claire just go in there?
Right.
But then again, does Jamie let Claire do anything? Let's be honest. Claire would have been like, yeah, okay, Jamie, whatever you say. Bye. Jamie, is that Big Bird?
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. But I still was like, I don't think that would happen. I don't think Jamie would let her go in by herself. And she wasn't like, packing or anything either. So, no, that wouldn't have happened. So she goes in the barn. There's a horse in the barn, nothing else, some kittens, whatever. Jamie knocks the door.
The kittens were so cute because that's why he didn't have pants.
I know. The kittens
he didn't want to wake the kittens on his pants.
I know. keh-ZYE-ah is very nice and noble. So Jamie knocks at the door. Nobody there. Nobody home. He looks in the window. He looks around there. He looks back and
that was freaking
creepy.
Freaking Ben Gardner showing up in Ben.
Oh my God!
That was
totally Ben Gardner and Ben Gardner's boat.
That
was
Ben Gardner.
My God, you're so right. And Jamie is rarely rattled. But Jamie was rattled.
It rattled him as much as Richard Dreyfuss was rattled when he dropped the tooth. The shark tooth when Ben Gardner popped out with his eye. That's the feeling I got when her scary ass face was in that window. I was like, oh my God! My stomach went. I lurched.
I know.
It was lurching.
No, it was scary. It was really great, and the music was great. Oh, it was fantastic. But instead of being like it rattled Jamie for half a second, but then he was mad because he doesn't like when getting rattled. So he marches right back over to the door, and he's like, bom, bom, bom. So her husband is dead. Jamie's like, yeah, all right, I'm sorry for your loss, but I want to keep the kids. And she's like, you can have them. You just go away. So Jamie goes back to Claire, and Claire's like, yeah, there's nothing. Claire's like, I checked the barn. It's clear.
I just was cracking up because with that indenture search, I thought to myself, can't you just find one of those pieces of papers and write down, I gave the Beardsleys to the Frasers on this date and sign your name. Do we really need to overstay our welcome looking for these papers? Jamie's like, might change our mind. Okay, then write something new. Because honestly, if you think about it, Wouldn't the Beardsleys have been free upon the death of the person who owned them?
But they didn't. Oh, well.
Or who owned the indenture? Like,
yeah, but they still need papers to prove it. They would still need something to prove it. I mean, they could just say, "Oh, yeah, he died. Sorry," but no, they would need proof of death as well as proof of life, as they say.
You just made that up.
No, I didn't.
I'm so sorry, you guys.
I know. I'm getting there too, but we have. No,
I've been there. I've been there like 2:00 this afternoon.
I know. I just
I need sleep.
Okay. So so Claire and Jamie regroup, and they're like, well, there's something weird here. She's, whatever. And did you notice Jamie like this? He has his gun or whatever, and he's like this. That finger was twitching like nobody's business, and I was like,
"Oh no!"
Oh
but
my
I'm
God.
on the scene,
like as if this episode wasn't all about the book to begin with. You got Jamie twitching that finger like a madman, and
how did I see that?
Oh my God! I saw it the first viewing. I noticed it. It was front and center. So Jamie realizes that no, I need these papers. She's got to give me these papers. So they go back to the door. They go inside. They look around, and it is a stink fest. They're like, what the hell is disgusting in here? So the woman's looking for papers, and all of a sudden, like there's, and they're like this, and then. And all of a sudden you see it's like banging out of the closet. There's something in the closet. So, Jamie's like this. And he opens the closet and it's a goat. Another goat. Because there's goats running around this house, and that's the male goat that's going to, try to have its way with the lady goats. So she keeps them locked in the closet. So she's still looking around for the papers. Jamie goes to chase out the goats. And that stink is still around. And Claire notices something coming out of the ceiling. Do we know what that was? It was dripping something.
I'm guessing it was blood.
Oh, see, I thought maybe it was poop.
Maybe. But that's right. He's lying in his own filth.
I don't really think he's bleeding much. I mean, I guess he's... Or maybe it was his foot juices.
No, because his foot was just, I think you're right. I think it was poop. That's why she was like, oh, it's not the ghost. And that's why the first thing she said was, he's lying in his own filth.
So she's
dripping
like,
down the foyer.
She's like, what the F is going on here? She takes the candle, she goes upstairs. And
without permission or invitation, did you see that? I was like, oh, once again, I was right out loud talking for Tom, because I knew Tom would be like, oh, I'm going to just go upstairs. Or like, he'd be like, no, you're just going to go, right, Claire? Like in someone else's house, you're just going to walk upstairs.
So she goes up, she looks around, and she finds this guy. And of course, Mrs. Beardsley's like, "Yo, don't go up there, don't go up there." So she thinks he's dead, but no, he does one of those like fake out, I'm really alive moves.
This is the moment when the supposedly dead killer comes back to life for one last scare.
That was so creepy. It was like, oh my God, it was like Guillermo del Toro was like such a total horror fest.
I know. So the Beardsley guy is not dead, and he stinks, and there's flies all over the place. But last week's dead guy that was slit open top to bottom on a hot summer day or a hot fall day or whatever, that smells like Febreze. But
yeah, he didn't smell at all. But this guy was like, woo, not going.
I mean, I guess in his defense, it was probably the poop that was smelling, and I don't know, whatever. I have to tell you, the fly sounds. Whoever's doing like the sound editing on this show, slow golf clap for you this week, because the fly sounds. I wasn't even listening with earphones or anything. I was listening on my laptop, with my laptop, sound, and I'm looking around like this. I'm like, is there really a fly in this room? like, oh my God, the fly sounds were so good. And I can only imagine how disgusting they would sound with earphones. Okay. So we have a quick cutaway to Roger and company. I think that this is really just so that we don't forget that they're actually on the road to Hillsborough and we don't forget about them. But they're trying to get this woman to, like, give up her sons. And Mistress Finley is like, she's rather skeptical of the whole thing. And, like, and, you know, oh, this is gonna bring my husband back? Great. Getting my boys killed? Okay, sure. Whatever. Take them.
Wasn't that a funny scene?
It was funny because of the sons' reactions. The sons were like, really? We can get the hell out of Dodge?
Oh my God. like they were like thrilled.
I know.
They were like, woo!
We go get away from this bitch. Yes!
Yeah.
Roger Mack, you are a hero.
And she was like, oh, sure, okay.
Yeah, let's take him. All right, so we're back to the Beardsleys. They've got beer. How the hell they got him downstairs without him, like, crumbling into a million pieces, I will never know. But they did.
It was so gross.
And yes, now commences the grossest scenes ever on Outlander, including the torture of Jamie by Blackjack. Because I'm going to say that this was just disgusting. We got a chance to see a big oozing wound with maggots crawling in it. We got to see putrid.
I thought that was kind of cool.
Feet. Say what? Oh, you liked the maggots?
I thought that was kind of cool. Well,
I did
use maggots to kind of eat the infection?
Yes, I did. I think they do that in a lot of shows. Any show that's like before, I don't know, 1890, you've got some maggots eating the like they have to have done it on Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, I think
Doc Baker totally had that.
You would think I was crazy, but I'm almost like ready to say that's almost like still a practice.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm thinking of leeches.
Well, leeches, yes. Leeches definitely. But no, I think maggots...
And I totally want to go have that thing done with a pedicure where you stick your foot in the water.
Did and that. In Barcelona.
And those fish.
I know, I chickened out.
So cool.
In Barcelona, we walked past a place where they were doing it, and John's like, you should do it. Go do it. And I chickened out.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I totally want to do that. You can't do that here.
I think that in Outlander somewhere, this maggot thing was a thing. And I think maybe...
Tracey, that was brilliant.
I think maybe it was Roger after the Indians. After he came back from the Indians. I think Claire like stuck some maggots on him or something to get his to eat the infection away. If I recall correctly. But in any case, it was disgusting. You know, interesting but disgusting. We got a gangrenous foot, which was disgusting. We got various oozing wounds. It was just
And we
got this guy who's like shriveled up to nothing. I would love to know. I definitely want to like do some research to see how they got this guy to look, you know, like he's 2 pounds.
Oh, like this.
I know.
I couldn't figure that out. Was that CGI?
I don't know. That's what I want to know. I'll have to watch that. I always forget to watch, like, you know, after the show, like, stay tuned for the inside scoop on the...
We're after the show.
I never watch it. I should, but I don't, or I haven't.
No, that's us. We're after the show.
Oh, we're after the show. We're the Talking Outlander. Okay. So the maggots are there, and she's Claire's telling Jamie, like, this is, you know, Mrs. Beardsley basically like burned his feet over and over again. And at this point, we have to all be like, you know, thinking that she is, and of course I'm not thinking of the name. Oh God damn it! From Misery.
Kathy Bates?
Yes, but what's the character's name?
My name is Annie Wilkes.
Annie Wilkes, yes.
Bird.
You have to think of her going like,
It's for the best.
I'm burning these feet. It's the best. Okay, so Claire's going to have to amputate. And And Jamie's like, okay, that's great. But here's the thing. There's this war that you told me about, and you were like, you have to figure out a way to do something about it. So we're basically doing all of this, like, regulator stuff and going to Hillsborough and whatever, because...
and I'm doing all this to save your ass! And all I want to do is drop you on it!
Because of what you said, and now you, like, are like, oh no, I'm changing my tune here, and I want to, like, you know, take care of this guy who, like, basically you could take a pillow and go like that for 10 seconds and then be back on the road to Hillsborough for, like, you know, what the F, Claire? Yeah, you know, never mind that Jamie has a war and history to attend to. Like, God forbid Claire doesn't, you know, amputate this guy.
And you left Roger out there.
I know. Plus Claire, plus Sassenach, Roger's in charge. Like, how long is that going to last for? How good? What good's going to come of that, Claire? Chop here. Come on.
Claire, did you remember Roger's in charge?
What?
Roger can't be in charge of the pigs back on the farm, and you just left him in charge of all of those leads.
Oh my God.
Look at him. He just popped onto the screen too, and he's like, they're talking to the woman about her kids, about her son. Oh God, that's funny. Okay.
So Fanny finds a rope in amongst all of the, I mean, how much paper do they have that's in all these drawers that she's looking at? It's like, none of them are what she wants.
Myself,
you know.
What is all the paper? Look where you live.
I know. Where are you getting all this paper from? And, like, is Beardsley, like, some sort of, like, secret poet? He's, like, some sadistic poet? Like,
there's, like, a deed and indentured papers. Like, what other
that should be literally the only papers in the house, basically. But no, there's a million papers. Okay, but whatever. So,
get the papers, get the papers, get the papers.
So she finds a rope, and she, you know, Claire and Jamie are having this discussion about, like, well, I could amputate, or I could, like, do this or do this operation or that, and Jamie's like, you gotta hit the rope, Claire. And meanwhile, and then they hear, and they hear, no. And she's got that rope around his neck, and she is trying to kill him. And so Jamie is like, no, whatever. She gets into it with Jamie, and I'll be damned if, like, she couldn't take Jamie Fraser. Like, you know, you put them in last week's ring, you know, as the second card for the two horror ladies.
Fell backwards.
I don't know who's winning that match. I don't know who's winning that match. I think Annie Wilkes has got a great shot against Jamie Fraser.
Oh my God, that was a little crazy. I'm looking at it right. Ew, the black toes.
Do you agree?
I concur.
There we go. But they don't.
He fell over backwards.
I know. She pushed him away. He like goes flying.
And I'm like, I'm sorry. Aren't you Jamie Fraser, the warrior?
I think she'd have a shot. I really do. But we don't really find out because, you know, they kind of like do one of those like push each other away. Each one of them hits a wall, and you hear a splashing thing, and her water breaks.
Oh yeah, that was kind of bizarre.
Did you see that one coming? I mean, again, I had forgotten all this, so didn't see
Forgotten.
that one coming.
Totally forgot it.
So now we interrupt this Outlander episode for a very special call to midwife. We have Tracey.
And was the baby? Was that the story in the book too?
Yes.
Was the baby so clearly not his kid?
Yes.
Okay.
It's all from the book.
But they never said who it was. She just said he was a good man.
Right. Yeah, so they have a baby. Claire could very easily work at Nada's house, although she would drive Sister Julianne crazy. And
tip top.
And so she hands Jamie the baby. It's a very small baby. And
Jamie's like,
apropos of nothing, because I guess he called her Claire here. But yeah, he called her Claire when he called her over to look at the baby. Jamie calls Claire entirely too much on the show. I'm sorry. There, hot take number 2. I think entire episodes should go by on this series where he doesn't call her Claire. He calls her Sassenach. I don't know how many times I want to watch it. Next time I watch it, I'm going to pay attention to how many times he calls her Sassenach in front of Annie Wilkes, because it's not many, because she makes it, because they have a joke about it, like, oh, and your name is Sassenach? And
I know it's 2. I know I heard him say it twice.
Why do you think that? Because he never calls her that.
Yes, he did. He called her that at least twice. Because I kept thinking, it's funny you should say that. Because at one point, and I don't remember if it was this episode or last week, I was like, listen to all these Sassenachs. So you're thinking the opposite. That's funny.
maybe it's reminding me that he really doesn't call her that much, and that much. And maybe they're starting to make more of an effort at it. I don't know. But it's always really bothered me because it's a little thing, but it's a big thing in the book. It's time and time again in the book. It's stressed. He never calls her Claire except in his most serious, intense, emotional moments. So you really have to use that name sparingly, in my book.
I guess, but I kind of felt like that baby was not his baby. It was kind of a big moment. He's like, Claire.
No, I don't think he would call her Claire there. I really don't. I don't know. I think he would say Sassenach. Anyway, whatever.
That's the kind of thing that I would be bothered by, and I, not necessarily by you, but just like, oh, get over it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still bothered by, like, you were just commenting on him and this woman, and how, like, wow, like, I think she could have taken Jamie Fraser. And, every once in a while I have a little ooh in my heart, because he's not bigger than everyone. Like, he's supposed to be like head and shoulders bigger than everyone there.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be huge. He's supposed to walk in a room. Like last week when they walked into, where do they walk into? And only if you've ever walked into a Revolutionary War era, building or earlier, those doorways were like, I have to duck to get in the doorways. Mm-hmm. So you see Jamie walk in and he's supposed to be monstrous and he's not. And that bothers me.
Right. We all have our little things. That's my little thing. That Sassenach versus Claire. Whatever. It's all good. Yeah. So, okay. So he calls Sassenach / Claire over, and yes, the baby is born of a black father. So we get a scene where Claire and Mrs. Beardsley talk a little bit. Mrs. Beardsley was the 5th wife. He killed the other ones. They're all buried under a tree somewhere. And it's a nice little scene.
The Henry VIII bit of that. Like, none of them could give him, I think she said none of them could even give him any children at all. So it was like him.
Right. So clearly he was the one at fault.
And choose.
So that was it was a nice conversation. It was a sad conversation because it's very discouraging about the world and life and whatever. But her name is Frances and they call her Fanny. So, and yeah, then they have that, like, and your name is Sassenach joke. And I was just like, whatever. So Jamie and Claire are having a little discussion about, what are they going to do about Mr. Duty Pants? And Claire's all, what is this world coming to and whatever. And then she tells Jamie that she wants Roger and Bree to go back to their own time. And Roger's kind of wanting that too, and Jamie's like, oh well, he would, because he's like such a Mr. Scaredy Pants.
Did you see Jamie's face?
I know.
He doesn't want him to go back. He just got her back.
I know. So okay, it's the next day. Baby's crying. No mother around. She's gone. She's skedaddled. She left the baby there. She left the papers there.
Where'd she go? Where are you going?
We don't know, but maybe she's going back to Baltimore. Or she's going to try to find, the father of the baby, with whom she was very happy.
Across the river, through the woods, to Baltimore we go.
I know. But good for her. I mean, if she can find happiness, good for Fanny Beardsley. Yeah, the horse is gone. I couldn't tell whether it was Jamie's horse or her own horse, because her own horse looked pretty bad off, like from seeing it in the barn. So I don't know. And like I said, I think in the book
I also noticed how Claire.
What?
Is there a delay?
No, I think it's just breaking up, whatever.
I was just gonna say I just noticed that Claire said, let's see if we can find like a nursing mother when we get to the town.
Well, yeah, because she had to. I mean, they had this baby. Clearly, Fanny's not going to be doing anything about it. So she got the goat's milk, but then that's going to run out, and so they're going to need to find.
But then I found that fascinating. Like, you know, in those times, that there was just some woman, like, who was like,
oh yeah, well, that's what a nursemaid was.
A wet nurse,
or a wet nurse, yeah.
Like, just keep her nursing. Like,
yeah. No, that was. I mean, I have to wonder if people would do that now. Actually, people probably would.
They would.
They would.
People would do a lot of things.
So the big question is, so she's not coming back. What do they do with this baby? And were you not thinking, like, both of them were like, this baby's really cute. Maybe we should keep it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So we'll have to see what happens there. So it's time to go. And Jamie and Claire talk. What are we going to do with him? And Jamie's basically like, I mean, this is again. But I will give Claire this. I will give Claire a very big prop. Claire is starting to realize that her Hippocratic oath is not always the best solution. So good for her.
Yes, I thought the same thing. I couldn't believe she gave in.
Yes. Claire, you get a slow golf clap from me, because she's really starting to recognize that sometimes saving the patient is not the best solution.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a very hard decision. That was not easy for her to do. So that is good for her. So Jamie's like, Claire, you know, I would do this for a dog. So, and she's like, okay. And he's like, go outside and I will call you back in whenever I need to. And the following,
but you know,
go ahead.
Isn't that still murder? I mean, if somebody came along who knew this guy and did trades with him or whatever, and found him dead of a, you know, he's got the stuff going on, but he's got a gunshot wound to the head. Like, can't Jamie get in trouble?
No. He was going to die anyway, and anybody who came along would see that. No, not at all. I don't think so.
Okay.
So Jamie says, you know, I want to make sure you understand. This is the deal. My wife can heal you, or I can, you know, end it for you. And he wants to be ended, and he doesn't want any forgiveness. He doesn't give a shit. Jamie takes care of business, comes back out, says, just like, you know, my father had an apoplexy, and Jenny never told me that this is what it was like. And Claire was like, you know, it's not always like this. I'm sure Jenny was honest with you. Jamie says, Claire, and he could say Claire at this point. I bet he did in the book. This is an example of a time where he would use Claire.
Yes, yeah.
You know, promise me that if something like that ever happens to me, that you'll, you know, you won't let me suffer. And she's like, I'll do what needs to be done. Boom. Oh, but we didn't talk about the birds. The birds? The birds?
No, that scene.
Oh, you will do what needs to be done?
When you're the wife and you're the one who has to make the decision,
mm-hmm.
and you're me and you're watching this, I lost my shiz.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I mean, that was put into my hands. I was the decision maker on that one. So it is not easy.
I can understand that. But, I mean, you know, you have to make the decision, but you also know, this is hard, like, Jamie was the one being like, make the decision, Claire. Promise me you'll make the decision.
That's why I got a lot of peace out of that scene.
Yes. Yeah, that's a really good point. I never even thought of that when I was watching it. I never even thought of that, but yeah.
I mean, ultimately, you make the decision to speed things up because you know it's happening. You know what I mean? I mean, in certain cases, and, you know, but it's certainly not easy. But so you see a scene like this and you hear that from Jamie Fraser of all people, and you're like,
yeah.
Which is so, once again, at the Outlander series intertwined with the deepest, darkest moments of my life.
That's just so weird. God. I wish
weird.
I hope Diana finishes that damn book because I really want her to do a tour. We're going to travel to wherever the hell she is. I don't care how far it is. We're going to a signing.
So I can hand her the thank you note I owe her here. You talk to the financial guys, and they go, "All right, what's keeping you up at night?" And I'm thinking, I owe Diana Gabaldon a thank you note for a really long time. That's what keeps me up at night, honest to God. I
just always think about how, like, you know, I mean, again, like, not to get all, like, you know, emotional on everybody, but, like, we're so lucky because we have, like, these videos of Tom being all goofy and Tom-ish, and I would say Tommy, but, like, that's actually a name, so, you know, and the only reason we do is because, you know, some professor in Arizona decided that she wanted to write a book for practice. That's it.
I know. I can't. I mean, that and the bees and what I just said, and, you know, the whole thing. Just there's things I can't mention because they'd be major spoilers from a couple other books. But
right.
The whole thing is just completely bizarre, and I'll never understand it. But who cares? I don't need to understand it.
Right.
It is what it is.
You should go back, but that scene, Carol, is word for word from the book. You should go back and read it. Very end of some chapter. I don't remember which one. But because I just read it before we started this.
And I will say this because people said that I should talk about Tom because I'm always like, oh my God, I'm talking about Tom too much. But a fellow in my grief group the other night lost his wife like 4 years ago, and he was saying he still can't, like, he could never watch a video. He couldn't. And I'm like thinking to myself, oh my God, like, I was like doing this, like,
well,
videos.
I'll tell a story. Like, I remember the day Tom died, we all went back to your house. And I don't know why. Well, I mean, I do know why, because there was there was some Outlander stuff. We've talked about this before with the bees and everything, whatever, that day. So I don't know if we were telling somebody else that story, talking about Outlander, whatever. And you were very like, oh, I can't watch those videos. Like, I can't. And that lasted all of like 24, maybe 48 hours. And I was at your house like the next day.
Approximately the period of time during which the Earth completes one.
Alexa, stop.
Don't make her stop when she does that.
Why?
My kids did the same thing the other night, and I was like, I wanted to hear what she had to say. When she starts talking for no reason, I mean, obviously she thought you said Alexa, but like when she starts talking for no reason, I want to hear what she's going to say. That makes it even more creepy.
I know. So anyway, I'm back at your house like the next day or whatever, and we're looking for pictures for the funeral home or whatever to make the poster. And for whatever reason, I come across some like raw video of us, and you're like, let me see that. And
you guys, she's still making fun of me, even in this situation.
We're howling. No, I'm like saying for both. We're howling. It's so funny. Whatever it is, I have to dig it up and post it. And you're like, and people are coming over like, what is this? What is it? It's like, Carol's like, come here, watch this. It's so funny. Like,
deep Outlander thoughts with Tom.
No, but I should post that again because it's really funny too.
That was the funniest thing he ever did. I'm sorry, it really was. And his face isn't even in that. That was just his voice. The fact that I got Tom to do that, he was not on social media. He did not want his picture. He was like, oh my God, no. But he would do that for us. Every once in a while, if he was in a fun mood. And he also he was proud of me. And he appreciated all of this. And every once in a while, he'd play along. And man, deep Outlander thoughts with Tom was so damn funny.
Yep. So, all right. So, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I never thought of that connection, but I love it. I love it. I love it.
I love it.
There's a lot of birds, if you noticed.
Yeah, a lot of birds. At one point, when Hitchcock backed up, I was like, she's standing there, and it went, boom. You couldn't even see sky. There were more birds than sky. And I was like, honey, you go get shit on right now.
I thought that too.
These birds are going to come all
the Beardsley shit is not going to be the only shit that's going to be falling out of the sky.
Claire, yes, go stand under the porch with Hitchcock. My God.
Oh, my God. I'm too tired to really think of the significance of it, but that was a whole lot of birds. They're harkening back to season 1.
Here they come. There's birds. Can you see the bird? Oh, I can't show that because my name is on it.
maybe it was about like Beardsley's dark soul is kind of leaving his. Maybe it was like in Ghost when the bad guy dies and they have all those little like guys that like come and take his soul away.
I was thinking in the Green Mile. Is that it?
I don't remember that. I don't remember what happens when people die in that.
Big black powder comes out of their mouth. I don't remember. So Claire's got the baby.
Claire's got the baby. She told Jamie she'll do what needs to be done. Birds fly off, and we're done. That's it. Episode ends. Yeah, it was a really good episode. It was very, 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 very true to the book. It was classic Jamie and Claire working together to do what must be done. Conflicted in some ways, on the same page in some ways.
I like that she was way more on the same page with him than she ever is.
Yes. Yes.
She was absolutely. Tom Stark would have been proud.
Yes, I agree. I think
Claire. It wasn't about Claire.
Right. She's realizing what must be done, and that sometimes what must be done isn't what she believes or what she's comfortable with.
Right.
But it must be done. But
she had to know. I mean, look at this guy. He can't travel.
Yes. I mean, she's playing God. She's like, well, if I amputate his foot and cauterize it, and I could stay with him for a couple of days to stabilize him, and then maybe we'll get him on a horse, and
that was my favorite.
That's the Hippocratic Oath talking.
For a couple days. What?
That's the Hippocratic Oath talking. That's not
right. But that was my favorite. Maybe if I stay with him for a couple of days, you do that, Claire.
Yeah.
In this creep fest, you should stay there. Yeah.
I guess they got used to the smell. Whatever. I don't know. All right. Anything else?
Smell. She would have been alone with this
with a stank. With
the stank man in this place.
No. She did the right thing. Claire, you did the right thing. Claire, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
It's not about Claire, but it was there.
All right, we're done. We have nothing more to say. Anything else?
That's all she wrote.
Anything else about this episode?
That's all she wrote, but I'm bummed.
I will be very curious to hear what people have to say. I think people will like it. I think the book readers will love it. We don't really know. We haven't seen the scenes for the next episode yet. But that will be, when we're done, that will be a third of the way through.
Oh my God.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know. We're going to Scotland less than 2 months.
We hope.
We are. Coronavirus is not happening.
You were the one who brought up the coronavirus yesterday.
No, coronavirus is gonna be long gone by then. Trust me.
That's what I think.
I've had a change of heart now. It's good.
Although in Japan, the kids are off school until the end of March.
Well, I heard they shut Milan down. I heard Milan, the Fashion Week was canceled or whatever. I don't know.
No one walking in the streets, and oh my God, go collect water and canned goods.
It'll be over soon, and just my 401k needs some love. Up, whatever.
Do not get me started. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
David.
All right,
You
we
guys
have to sign off because
watch
it is
in the interim.
It is late. We've been talking forever. We have nothing more to say about the show. People are done with us. You guys
follow us on everything.
Let us know in the comments. Oh, we forgot to say subscribe to us on the YouTube channel.
I know, we got to do it.
Oh my god, we always forget to do it.
Let's make a special video just for that.
I know. We should. Well, we have to redo our ones for new subscribers because it is old and stupid and bad, and I look bad in it. So maybe we'll
I'm a little tipsy, and I'm like,
maybe we'll do that. But anyway, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is the best way to keep informed of all of these videos. We also are on My Outlander Purgatory, myoutlanderpurgatory.com, where you can comment there. We are on Facebook. We have a rockin' Twitter account, like lots of great conversation. We live tweet the show every week, and people talk and talk and talk, and everybody's comments are so insightful and interesting and fun. And you're all very respectful. Yay, you. So comment there, comment on Instagram, wherever you see us. Tell your friends about us. Tell your Outlander friends to come and watch us because we're really funny and we like to have new viewers. All right? So that's it for us. Carol, any last words?
Love you guys.
Love you guys, and we will see you next week.